Hi there. Well, I know it's been quite a while since I've uploaded anything, and I really apologize for that. You know how life tends to happen sometimes. I'm testing out a new pack today. I've got also the Pathfinder, I think it's called Bedroll Cook Set. I only have the part with the grill and the little fork that holds the grill to try that out today. I had to modify it a little bit, but we'll go over that when we get there. Right now, I really need to haul butt and find a place to camp. Uh, my wife is down with COVID, but she's doing okay, so um, we're not really too worried. Uh, Probably means I have it as well. I have felt absolutely awful the past couple of days, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to get back out here. So I'm going to give it a shot, see how I feel, see what I can do while I'm here. My pack's weighing in at 45 pounds, which is still more than I would have liked, but I think that'll be easy considering some of the things we've done in the past. Uh, right now, I'm gonna just try and find a spot with a good view and the favorable circumstances that we all look for, and I'm just gonna put up a little tarp style lean-to shelter or something of that nature. And most of this pack is filled with the MSS. I brought all the pieces to it except for the stuff sack because no matter what happens, I want to be warm tonight. So I'll catch you when we find a spot. Well, I thought this was some nice scenery, so I went ahead and backtracked good little ways. Decided to capture that for you. Probably the best scene I've found so far, but I don't really want to camp here because it's too close to a road. So I think I'll head back out a little ways and try to find a place to camp as quickly as I can. Let's go up this hill over here and see what we can see. All right, this is what we have going on now. I'm sorry I didn't take you with me to set all this up, but it was getting dark on me, and you know how that goes. So what I have here is the Pathfinder Bedroll Cook Kit, complete with a cheap steak on it. And here I have some red beans and rice mix. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to mess with that and end up dropping it in the fire. So what I did is just went from tree to tree with a ridge line. Probably can't see much of that. And then I have my piece of Cordura that I usually use under the pub tent. And the MSS, I only have the bivy and the green bag right now, but I do have it set up so that my sleeping pad is actually inside the bivy. And I find that actually helps immensely with the insulation from the ground if you can't afford one of those really expensive high R value ground pads. But other than that, this is just a little inexpensive StanSport nylon tarp. It's just staked out in the back. Nothing special here. Have a little piece of Reflectix underneath the bivy bag. You can kind of see it right in here, but I'll probably either take that out or put it inside because I'm kind of on a hill here and it's going to cause me to start sliding down. So I might remove that. But that's what we have going on for now. I'm going to go ahead and finish cooking and maybe go ahead and eat something. And after that, we'll talk about a few of these little products that I have here and how I feel about them. One that I'm actually kind of impressed with is this little lantern. And right off, I forget what brand it is, but it's the little cheap lantern that you can get in the candle section at Walmart. And it's very, you could tell it's built inexpensively, and the glass is really thin. You definitely don't want to overfill it or tilt it in any way or it'll leak. But if you actually read and follow the directions, it's not too bad, and you can seal it up. You can see on the bottom there that I actually soldered the bottom to seal it up a little bit better. But I mean, for a grand total of $9 plus the fuel, and the thing runs for 20 something hours on a tank and creates a heck of a lot more light than that little UCO candle lantern I was using. Now, granted, I really like that. I had a nice brass one. Love that little candle lantern, but most of the time I need a little bit more light than that. Inside a tent or something like that, that small one's nice. But right now out here, this little lantern, even before I had the fire lit, would light up this whole area. So I'm pretty pleased with that for $9. But I need to seal where these little tubes go down into the tank because I tilted a little bit earlier and it started leaking, but not bad, no issue. We can fix that, no problem. Now the Pathfinder bedroll kit, on the other hand, I did have to do some work on that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's not something I'm upset about. Nothing I think takes away from the product, but I expected a little bit better, but things happen, and it was easy enough to fix on my own. Okay. That night was quite a bit better than I expected, considering I'm pretty sick. I'm really not feeling well at all. Last night I cooked that steak up and probably barely ate half of it because I couldn't really eat anything without feeling like I was going to throw up. As for the bedroll cooker, I really enjoy that device. It's a really neat thing, and it's kind of nice that you can raise it up and lower it down to adjust the amount of heat that you have on your food. That's kind of handy because, let's face it, steak's good with a little charring on the outside, but you don't want it charred through and through, you know what I mean? So you could lower it down, get a good char on it, then raise it up and cook it to your liking. Once again, I've managed to underestimate the MSS sleep system. I brought the bivy, the green bag, and the black bag. Well, as you can see, the only bag I'm using is the green bag, and it's, let me see, my watch has a thermometer on it. Not that it's very accurate, but it might get us in the ballpark. It's 44 out right now. So, and it dropped down to, I want to say it was just above 40 degrees early this morning, and I was perfectly fine. Now I do have my sleeping pad underneath this, which is just a regular Climate Static V pad. It's not the insulated version, it's just a regular version. And below that I have this Reflectix that's on the ground, between the bivy and the ground. So I didn't feel any cold coming up from underneath me. At one point I felt cool in the bag, if that makes any sense, but absolutely not cold. I just felt kind of comfortable, honestly. It was kind of nice. I do have this little waffle top on here, and just my pants and this beanie, and that's all I have for insulation. No thermals or anything like that, and I was perfectly fine. And then At one point I got up and I stoked the fire up a little bit, and just what little bit of fire I had going was more than enough to warm me substantially back up. Uh, so we're good to go on that. Let me see. Any other pieces of gear that you have not seen? I did buy a new pack because with it getting colder, I like to go, pretty heavy on the insulation. I like to be comfortable. Um, so I bought the new pack so that I could carry the complete MSS system internally and still have room for clothing and food and tools and things like that, which I really didn't use much in the way of tools this time because, let's face it, I just did not feel like it. Yep, everything else went pretty well. Had a squirrel come down and irritate the crap out of me first thing this morning. He's lucky this morning. He's lucky. I'm not hungry, so he's gonna make it another day. Yep, as you can see, I'm starting to get some sunshine. Hopefully it'll warm up a little bit soon. I haven't decided if I'm going to put coffee on or not yet because, once again, I don't know if I want to try eating or drinking anything right now. It was kind of a rough night in that aspect, but everything else went very well. Yep, all I did was did the little quick deploy ridge line like the Corporal's Corner does on his, and that worked out really well last night because, let's face it, I wanted to get everything set up and done as quick as possible. Have this piece of Cordura as a ground pad. The little lantern back there, I think I mentioned that also already, that it's not the most leak-proof thing in the world, but it puts off so much light compared to the little candle lanterns that, to me, it's just worth putting it in a little bag or something, so if it leaks, so what? And that thing will burn all damn night and probably, all tomorrow night if I wanted it to on a single tank of fuel. So, I mean, do the math there, and kerosene's cheap. So, yep, I think that's going to be it for now. If I don't start feeling better, this will just be the end of the video, and I'll load up and head out here. I need to go check on the wife. She's been doing just fine, but you know how that is. You're still concerned regardless. Yeah. Anyway, if I don't see you again, have a great one. Stay safe. Stay warm. I hope you succeed in everything you set out to accomplish. All right. I decided to stay a couple minutes and get this coffee on, so maybe that'll help me feel a little bit better, at least for the ride home, which is going to be about an hour. Or actually, before that I have to hike back, but it's not far. It's probably maybe a mile or so. I've kind of gotten past that stage where I feel like being, 10 miles out away from my vehicle is a point of pride, because honestly, you can, at least where I'm at, you can rarely get that far anymore without running into a forest road anyway. So, I mean, what's the point? I mean, whether or not I can get a good night's sleep 10 feet from my vehicle or 10 miles from my vehicle makes absolutely no difference to me. So, do what you enjoy. It doesn't have to be a pilgrimage. But yeah, got this coffee going. Now the wind's going to pick up and slow that process down. But in the meantime, we could talk about this little Pathfinder. Got it a little bit close. Move some of that fire away from it. This Pathfinder cook set. I absolutely love this thing. This is one of my favorite pieces of kit now. Probably besides my my new pack and my MSS. But I had a little issue with it, and I think a lot of people would have said just return it and whatnot. But honestly, if I have the means to fix something, I'm not going to go through all that trouble. And what happened was, I don't know if you can see, let me turn it this way. This little elbow right here, so kind of underneath. It holds that grating up. Well, not this side, but on the other side, when they, I guess, split that rod with a grinder so that they can make that 90-degree, outward and then back in to make this little fork right here. When they ground that rod, they ground it super thin. So there really wasn't much there holding it. Whenever I would clip this grate onto it, which is, kind of held on just by tension when you put this clip on, that side would hang really low because there just wasn't any tension on that side due to the metal on that side being so thin. I mean, it was very thin. So what I did with it is I just took a Oxy Map torch and just brazed a little, piece of steel on top of it, and then just ground it back down to reprofile it. And hey, it works good now, and it's well, we'll just say it's customized now. So I mean, absolutely not a point against buying anything from Self-Reliance Outfitters. Most of the stuff that I buy is probably from there, but just a little issue, and a pretty easy and almost a fun fix, because who doesn't like actually having a legit project I mean, to repair something, So I don't mind at all. But other than that, it grilled the steak last night really well. Wish I could have eaten more of it. Of course, that's just something that happens. You don't always feel great. And then with COVID going around, there's a lot of people that are getting it a lot worse than I am. So I'm guessing I'm probably coming down with it now too. But what better place for me to be is out in the woods where I can't transmit it or get anybody else sick. So all right, I'll catch you in a minute with some coffee. Okay, this delicious bean juice has gone on long enough. See if I can pull it up and over here. And now I'm just going to pour some cold water in here to shock the grounds, get them all to sink. That's a good cup of coffee. That'll be, let's give it a little bit more. Right about there. That way once I pour it all off the grounds, I'll still have plenty left. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of powdered milk and sugar to it, just for S&Gs. Just sounds good this morning. I drink coffee either way, it doesn't matter to me, black or with cream and sugar, but this morning it just sounds good to have a little sweetness because I'm not really eating a whole lot just yet. But hey, we'll get there.